Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget, Memory Lane. And so today we are going to put some color on the background of our map. I'm going to use distress inks. You can use whatever you want. You can paint them with watercolors, acrylics, whatever you feel like doing it with. I just want a subtle background to then build upon. And so what I have here is I have all of these brushes I got from the Dollar Tree. They all came from the makeup department and they're just makeup brushes. They're just nice and soft brushes that are great to use for your distress inks. This one is more firm. This one is kind of in between, where it's a little more dense than this one. And then we have these that people are getting at the craft stores for quite expensive. I got this at the Dollar Tree for $1. Now they have one that's even smaller than this, and they have this one at the Dollar Tree. And they have them off and on. They don't have them all the time. I'm guessing that crafters are buying them up as soon as they see them. But, you can get them at the craft stores, but you don't need to pay that much money. You can use any kind of a brush. You can use a sponge. You don't have to spend $5 for one of these things. And so I bought these when I saw them and I really liked them, but this is just a little bit too soft. It doesn't get the ink on there that well. So what I did was I just put a rubber band around it and that made it more firm. And so they're better to use that way. And they, you get the ink on there better. And then what I did was I just put colors on the ends of them. And these ones work really well because they're not as soft as this. They're more firm even than this one here because, they're moving apart, but they're kind of staying together. I don't know how to say that, but it's just a nice density. And actually it's a lot like this one. And so you get these at the Dollar Tree for $1, put a rubber band around them, or tie some string around them, and you have a nice firm brush just like this one, and it's not costing a whole ton of money. I kind of like this one because of how straight it is like that, that I can kind of get up towards edges, but you don't need that because we're going to use paper to give us good edges. So I'll just kind of show you what I've already done here. I've done the green behind all of these areas here from our map. And where's our map? Here we go. So we've got our, our downtown. I've gone all the way up to the river. So I've got these first 4 sections done as far as just getting the green on there. And so we're going to work on these two. This one has some water and some grass and that type of thing. So I thought that would be the part to go ahead and show you how to do it. So this is our map. And even though you probably can't see that I've sketched a little bit, it is, again, sketched out like this. So now the one thing that I haven't done is I haven't quite got I haven't done the river here on this piece. So I'll have to go ahead and get the river there. But so this one is showing us the river and then the water here. And then we've got some fields here and we've got, this is all grassy in here. So we're going to do this part today. And I'll show you how to do these so that, better put that map back where I'm not going to lose it. Just to show you how to get this kind of look. And this works great if you're doing a picture with a background and it makes it look kind of like, it's hard to see, but like mountains or different layers of land, as you're looking at it straight on. We're looking at it straight down. So, I kind of made the lines a little closer together. But it's just a fun technique that I learned a long time ago, and I thought this would be a good technique for you to learn even for other projects. So we'll start with the green, and we'll get our grass here where the farmhouse goes. And so I am going to try this one today because yesterday I was using the other 3 to do all of this. The biggest thing is you have to remember to start on your paper. And so what we're going to do is to get our uneven look is we're just going to take a piece of paper and we're just going to rip it. So now we have this, what may look like, a landscape type thing. And then we're going to put this on our paper and we're going to use our green distress ink We're just going to get some of that on our, whoops, this is the blue one, but it doesn't matter because it comes off really nicely. And you're going to start on your paper and just kind of just go around and around off your paper. And then if you can see, right here we already have a little bit of green. And so you just do that, moving your paper so that it doesn't line up. Like right here we have a little point in our green, and that is this point of our piece of paper. So I don't want to put that right under there and make it look exactly the same, so I'm just going to move it over just a little bit. And then again, just go off of our paper, and I'm going up towards where I had already done the other piece. And now you can see it even much better. So, because I had a little more ink on my thing that time. And now I moved my piece of cardstock. And this is cardstock, but you can also do it with paper. With the paper, as you're doing this rounding, a lot of times the paper wants to round up a bit. Oops, I don't want to get it all over my road, although if I get it on my road, I'm going to paint my roads anyway, so it doesn't matter if I get a little bit on there. And literally, I just want to turn this whole area green, because this is our farm. It doesn't have to have a ton of the little bits in it, but that just gives it extra interest. So let's just finish this up. And then I'll kind of get around the edges where I haven't got yet. And you can turn this piece of paper over. But if you do that, you may get some of this green onto your paper, but that will give you a different look. You can also come in from the other way, which will give you, I've got this big curve on our road here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line this curve up with that curve of the road so that I'm not turning the road all green. And because my paper is a little bit bumpy from when I put the tea dye on it, it's getting kind of some little extra dark spots there where it was bumpy, and that works out totally fine because that again gives you more dimension in your color. This does take a while. I just want to finish this green part so that then we can move on to the river. And let's see, our river is way over there. Put that one right there. And because you come off the paper over and over and over, here you're touching your paper more than up above it. And so it gets darker along that line than it does up above. And that's what gives you that look, is because you're continually coming off your paper onto that one spot. I'm going to get my little thin one now. Now you have to be very careful. This picks up a lot of ink and it's very, very firm. So you really need to kind of wipe it off on your paper. And then I'm just going to kind of come up to the edge of the river. Kind of moving it in different directions and everything so you don't get a big straight line, because you don't want a straight line. That's the one thing you really don't want. I'm just going to go along the road there and over here. Again, make sure that I wipe it off first because I don't want a huge dark spot on my paper. And I got some on the road there, that's all right. I'm going to paint over top of it anyways. And just kind of get along the edges of my road there. Just so that my whole ground is green. Just a little bit more here. And we should be good to go. Okay, now I'm not going to do any more of the green right now. We have more to do, but there's no point in you watching the whole thing. So we're going to do a little bit of the water now. So there. I kind of really have a dark spot here where I did that I don't like, so I'm going to just kind of go around and around and around and go to it. Instead of continually starting on it where it's already dark, we want to start out here and go to it to kind of blend this color, make this a little darker. If I keep going on there and coming out to the edge, what's happening is it's just getting darker, darker, darker. So there we go. We have our grass done. So now we'll do our lake here. And these brushes, they brush off very well. Just brush them off like that, and you should pretty much get rid of the color. I get rid of the green so I don't accidentally pick up some of that. It's still got some green on it. I'm just going to use the other one that said it was supposed to be green. We're going to try the blue on that one, because it's still, the green is still wet. Yeah, this one doesn't have anything on it. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one a little bit more. Instead of just a rip, I'm going to I kind of want to make it like waves. And this is just a whimsical, picture, so it doesn't have to be anything that is to scale or perfect or anything like that. It is just going to be what it turns out to be. And, because we're just having fun with it. It's not a painting. Okay, so we're going to start on the paper and then come off the edge. Okay, that's still really light. My ink pad might be getting a little bit dried out. Now our river is coming in here, so I'm going to go all the way down that way. Give our river a little bit of waves. Going off up onto the other part of the lake so that we fill in the whole lake. But as I'm coming off the paper each time, I'm touching in the exact same spot over and over. So we get a little bit of a darker line here, a little bit lighter up there. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of move it right to here. Whoops. And this just kind of, as kids, we all, we did the water like that. And why did we do that? Because in our head, that's what we see. So, basically we're doing the same thing here, just to give the illusion that this is water. I'm just going to come out to the edges out here. And I'm trying to think if I want to keep it straight, but I think I do want the lines to all go the same way. And then just paying attention to where my road's at, where my lake is at. And, really that doesn't make a big difference either. So, and we've got just a little bit more. Maybe one more set of waves, and then just fill in the rest of the lake. And the longer that the more time you take in doing this, and just getting it off the paper and onto your map, off of here and onto there, the more depth you'll have in your waves and in your coloring. I think I need just a little bit more right here. I'm doing this quite fast, but you can just take your time, and actually it's quite enjoyable to just go on there, brush your ink on, take your time, don't be in any kind of a hurry, and then when you do your big reveal to see your waves or to see your grass or your mountains, whatever type of picture you're doing, it's actually quite fulfilling to just take your time. It's, it's nice, it's relaxing. And there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and use my color to fill in the rest of the area. I'm really tempted to just put it on there because my ink pad is so dry, but you really have to be careful if you're going to do that to not get a big blotch when you touch it on there. But yeah, my ink pad is very, very dry, so I'm not winding up with a huge mark by touching it. We need a little bit more down here to round off the end of our lake. And I think what I'm going to do is because I want that to be kind of distinct on the edge. There's my road. I'm going to round it off like that, because that will give me that line on the edge of my lake, just like these. Instead of it just fading into the tea-dyed paper. There we go. Now we have a nice distinct end there. We'll do the same thing up here. Let me see. Let me put it like this. But I want to do it right here. And over here, but our river is in the middle, so I don't want a distinct line across the river. And I want to go from the paper out to get that line. There we go. See, now our lake is taking up more. It's taking up more of a shape. And our last little bit will be right up here. And then we'll have a little green in the corner there to need to hold this down. Again, from the paper off to get the dark line on the edge. And there we go. So now we have our lake. So I'm going to put some green in here, green down along the road here. I'll fill in the river, and then I have to decide exactly. I want to paint the roads, I believe, but I'm not exactly sure how, so we'll decide about that later. So I will finish filling this in, and then I'll finish this, and then I'll be back, and we will work on some houses to go over here in our subdivision. Start back over here again. Here's our downtown, which is going to go right here along the road. So see, that just gives it some interest in the background, instead of if we just had a piece of tea-dyed paper and that was sitting on there. It's not bad, but it does look much better with the green in the background. So that's just all we're doing with all of this. So I'll be back in a few, and I'll have the whole thing all inked up, and then we'll work on some houses. Okay, I am back, and I have the color on our lake and our river and our farm area. So now we have all of the color on our whole background here. So what we'll work on now is we will work on the little subdivision houses that we have here, and I'm not going to stamp them right on our map. I'm going to stamp them on paper and cut them out like we did with our downtown. Let me put this up so it doesn't get messed up, and grab a piece of paper here. Just take off these extra bits, and then what we're going to do, I just have our color inks, and these are the inks that we got with our Build Your Stash and Craft series, where we spend $5 a week. We save up what we have not spent, and then we use that when we get some saved up to buy something else. And I believe, and I'm not 100% positive, but I think that these were like $10. Not sure, but I think that's about what they were. So what we're going to need to do now is I have my box full of wonky houses, and you know, some of them, well, this was one of our downtown buildings. Some of them are very big, but some of them are nice and small. So we can go ahead. We're going to need small houses for this. We may have to adjust some of these. So like there's a nice house with a roof, because we want them to be nice and whimsical. We've got a little door there, and there's a window. Might be a little bit too big for that house, but we'll see. These houses may be, I'm gonna grab our mat back here again, kind of see what size houses we want. Okay, so if we do a house that's this size, we could do 3. And not everybody's houses are the same. So this size would maybe fit a couple here. And once we put the roof on them, we won't be able to put one in the back, but that's totally fine. So this one seems to be a little bit big, but we'll use that as a guide too. We don't want a house any bigger than that for sure. So put that back again. And so we'll just go through, and we have some of these, like this one here. It's bigger than that, but it doesn't really have any great interest to it. So there's no reason that I can't just cut this down a little bit and make a cute little house that will fit better in our subdivision. So there we go. We know that that one was a good size, and maybe we'll take just a little bit more off the top of this one. And then what do we have here? Well, look at that. That can be a door, a nice little door. And if we cut the top off of it, because we don't want the door that tall, so we'll cut the top off. That makes a nice little window and a door. This one could be a cute little like flower box at the bottom, maybe next to the door. So we'll put that one there. Another nice little tiny window. That's a really cute little roof, but it's a little bit small for that building. But we'll see what else we have here. And I'm just digging through this box, So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is maybe cut this one a little bit smaller. And then we'll cut it down a little bit. And then I want it to be about this wide. And that's the thing, I could make more if I wanted to. I wouldn't have to cut these up, but I'm just kind of thinking that I have so many here. And this will give me some different sizes. So there we go. That'll be a cute little house right there. And again, keep all of your little extra bits because you never know what you can use them for. So see, this one is on an angle. That would make a really cute door. We'll leave it on an angle like that because we don't want everything to be perfectly straight. So we can either put it like this or we can put it like that. We can use that one for a little window. And so let's stamp a few. And then I will, it's a cute little door, but it might be too big. It might fit there. Oh, I love this door. I think we used that one in our downtown. But I still love it. This one is a cute little roof. Roof. I like that, but I don't like that square corner, so I'm going to round that off a little bit. There we go. That's a cute roof. I like that. Alrighty. And we've got this big roof for this little house, which will be cute. That's the thing about the wonky is they're really fun to do them up very different. See, that's really cute too. Okay, let's just stamp a few right now and kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. And then I'll go off and stamp some more. But okay, so let's start with, let's make a turquoise house. I think I'm not going to use this one because I do think that's too big. I really wish that I had, do I have any tape here? I am going to stop right here for just a second and I will be right back. I'm going to put a handle on the back of all these because I don't want to get ink all over my hands and then get it on the paper. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back and I have handles on all of my stamps. And so then we're just going to go through and try some out. Now, this one right here I've decided against because I realized that I used this one downtown. So I went ahead and, let's see, I chose this one to take its place. So, and now we're just going to start stamping. So let's see, we were going to start with a turquoise house. And then what color roof do we want with this house? Just kind of make sure that it's on there kind of smooth so that there's no big lines. And there's no perfect way to put this because we're going to cut them out. So it doesn't matter where they go, whether they're on the bottom of the paper or not. I want to try and not waste a ton of paper. Oh, that looks very nice. I also just noticed here where I flipped it over, it kind of made a mark. Kind of wondering about doing that because look, right there's a house. Needs a roof, but it's a house. Let's see, is this one big enough to give it a roof? Let's use this one. That one has a really little piece that was left on it. I'll show you how to make a handle for your stamps. Take a piece of tape, any kind of tape, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half but keep a little wing out on each side and then just put that on the back of your stamp. Just like that. Now you have a handle. And then what you do is just go ahead and trim the extra off the edges so that it doesn't get ink on it and transfer that ink to your paper. So there we go. Let's go ahead and put a purple roof on that house. And I'm going to just do it again. There. Okay. That's good. That purple's quite dark. All right, we need a roof for this one. I think I want, I don't remember which one we chose for that. Let's do this house. Do it in green. And I won't put them super close together so they'll be easier to cut out. I like that. Is this the one we were going to put on here? Maybe. And really, there is no right or wrong, so we just do whatever we feel like. I wanted to put, I'm going to do the darker color red. Well, I guess it's just red. I want to do that on that green house. Make sure we've got it on there everywhere. Line it up as best as you can, and remember, with them being wonky houses, it doesn't matter if they're a little bit off or a little bit crooked because they're supposed to be wonky. All right, on the blue house, let's do an orange roof. Why not? There we go. That's cute. Okay, so now we'll do this one. And then, of course, they need some doors and windows, so we'll have to do that too. And the thing about this is you can spend hours doing this. It is so fun. They're so fun to play with, and you know, you put it down there and you think, I don't know what that's going to look like, because you really don't. And then you lift it off and you go, oh, that's really cool. Or, you know, I don't really like that one. So that is what is so fun about making these houses. Let's make an orange house. I want to just try and remember not to put my colors all together. Like, I don't want to do an orange house and a blue roof. So let's do a light purple roof. And what is this? I think that was the roof we were going to use for that one. And I'm going to come down onto the house just a little bit with this one. There we go. Give that one a little bit of a press. I'm really not pressing hard. I'm just holding it, really. Making sure that each area touches. There we go. Now let's do some little doors and windows. Let's see. Okay, I like this door a lot. So which one is it going to fit on the best? It's awfully big for those two. I think it'll look really nice on that one. So let's do the door in, we'll do the door in this kind of red color. Now with the door, I do kind of want to, I don't care if it's in the middle, but I do kind of want it at the bottom of the house. I don't want it just floating there. So I do want to try and line it up at the bottom. If you get it up a little bit high, just cut the bottom of the house off when you cut it out. Oh, that's really cute. I love it. Already some little tiny windows, which let's do a medium-sized window. And just one. And what color? Let's make it, let's do gray. Just hold it there and let it make contact all over. Cute. Cute, cute. Does it need another one? I'm always like symmetrical, feel like it has to have another one, but it doesn't. So let's not worry about that. What is this? We're going to call this one a door, but it's a door, so it needs a doorknob. So I'm just going to take my pen, just press down. There we go. It's got a doorknob. Remember, when you do things that When you stamp them, they're backwards. So if you want your doorknob on a certain side, make sure that you press it onto the opposite side so that when you flip it over, it'll be on the side that you want it. That one's kind of a, they don't have colors on them. That one's kind of a lavender color. And there we go. That's really cute. It's got a little bit of an angle to it. And then we'll do a couple of windows. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny one. We're going to do them in purple. Oh, it's crooked. Yay! It looks really cute crooked. Now let's see if I can make this one kind of crooked, because that was an accident. There we go. That's really cute. Okay, now we need another door. Let's see. Let's do this door. This door's got a window in it. Since we've got this purple out here, we'll just use it. Oh, and round windows are cool too. And what you can do is you can use your hole punch and just punch around circles so you don't have to cut one. And that makes for really nice windows. Let's see if this will fit. Okay, so I'm going to shorten this one up just a little bit because it doesn't quite fit. And then I'm going to put a line in the middle. There we go. And then we'll do that one in, let's try the darker turquoise. Give that a little bit of a press. And there we go. Now we already have 3 little cute houses, and I'm just going to keep playing with them. Oh, I forgot to do this one over here. I'll do that one later. Just want to go ahead and cut them out. And actually, it's easier to put, because I like to draw around them, and it's easier to draw around the edges when it's still on a full sheet of paper. You can edge it very easily when you take it off, but I prefer to do it like this. Now, you have a choice. Do you do the window or not? You can. And there we go. So aren't they just so cute? I'm going to draw around the, I always draw around the roof and not the top of the house, because this house sticks up just a little bit. So I leave it like that. I don't want to put another line up there where the top of the house is. And this one, the little doorknob didn't show up, so I'll just stick one on there. Now, because my pen is a little fat, I don't think I want to go around the windows, but I might want to go around them maybe with a pen to give them a little bit of definition, but not as much as if I had used the marker. So you don't always have to go around with a marker. You don't have to go around with black. you can do it in any way that you choose to do it. And there, that gives them a little bit of definition, but not quite so much, because I think these ones are just a little bit thick. And then just cut them out. And get the masking, little tiny bits of masking tape off your scissors would help. And then I usually go around these anyways around the outside edge to cover up the white edge of the paper, because surprisingly enough it does usually show. But the reason that I went around them like this is so that I can cut next to the black line and actually have that nice blackness on my picture. But if I try and cut these out and then draw the black line on the picture, I wind up making a mess. It winds up being so thick, and then I make the rest, you know, I get one spot over too far, so then it's thick, then I make the next part thick, because so they're the same size, and then I get that one a little thicker, and so then I just keep going. So see, aren't they just so cute? And when you cut them out, they are even cuter than when you just have them on the paper. So we'll just cut these out really quick, and then we'll put them on our map and see what they look like. We'll see if maybe they're too big, too small, just right. We'll just be Goldilocks. We'll just test it out. And as I'm cutting here, I see a little bit of white. When I draw around the edge, that will disappear. And just this last one. And then if you say, I don't know if I like that triangle shape, well, what I could do is just cut straight up like that on both sides. I'm going to put the marker on it right now before I finish cutting it out. And I honestly like that a little bit better. Because, you know, if you lived in that house, down in those corners way over there, you couldn't hardly do anything anyways. And there we go. So those are cute. Now let's grab our map and let's see if they're going to be, I'm wondering if they're going to be too big. That's my only concern. So we're going to find out now. So here's our subdivisions, and we can put this one here, and we could put this one here, and they work out just fine. We can put that one there. That one's a little bit big, but then again, we could put him in the middle with a little house on each side. And there we go. That's cute. Now with the tall roofs, again, we're not going to be able to put something on there sideways, but that's really okay because, let's put our town on here. That's okay because, you know, if you look at it sideways, it may look funny anyways. So there we go. Now if I decide that is too big, I could always make it, I could just cut it down a little bit and then draw around it again. So now we have part of our subdivision. We need some over here and some over here. So I'm going to keep playing with this, and I'll show you next week how many other different houses I have, whether I kept that one or not. So thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate you. Watch a commercial here or there if you get a chance. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.